Hey there, I'm Matt with the Film Poets. I've been shooting video with the Canon R5 for a few months now. While it's not perfect, it can create a pretty great image. So today I'm going to show you 6 key settings to help you get the most out of video mode on the R5. So you probably already know that to shoot in 10-bit color, you need to be shooting in Canon log. This gives you another couple stops of dynamic range, but you do need to shoot at the native ISO at 400 minimum or above. Now the first thing we want to do is to lock the ISO minimum to 400. This is going to keep you from accidentally going below that and losing some of that dynamic range. Now the color matrix is important to get right as well. The EOS standard color matrix matches the older cinema bodies like the 1DC, but I found that the newer neutral matrix is a lot more accurate and more pleasing to the skin tones, and I also suggest sticking with the BT709 color space. It's just going to make life easier. Now there's also a little known secret about Canon's glass. It can automatically adjust for vignetting by enabling peripheral illumination correction. I've always had this enabled on all my Canon cameras, and it helps you to shoot wide open and not have any dark corners. And even if you're using an adapter on your R5, it will adjust for the vignetting on your L lenses. If you're using any RF glass, you may want to enable distortion correction. It's the first time that I've seen real-time distortion correction available in video mode. Now, if you like to do any free lensing or lens whacking, you'll want to enable the option called release the shutter without lens. Otherwise, the camera will just shut off as soon as you release the lens. So the best way to nail your exposure in C-Log is to use the dual zebra function. I like to set one zebra as a standard highlight alert and another more important zebra for skin tones or middle gray. Now if you're using it for middle gray, I like to set it to about 35%, which is just slightly over what Canon recommends, but I found you get a little bit cleaner image by going about a third a stop over what they suggest. Now if I'm exposing for skin tones, I like to be at about 45% for light skin and around 35% for darker skin. Now you're not gonna wanna look at these zebras all the time, so it's best to stick these on a programmable button. And right before you take a shot, just check your exposure and then turn it back off so you're not staring at the zebras the entire time. Now Canon provides a ton of different corrective LUTs for Canon log. And I've tested all of them, and I've found the C-Log to wide dynamic range LUT to be perfect. And one of the great things about log is that you can adjust for over and underexposed images just by moving that corrective LUT's curve around. Unfortunately, Canon only provides one for properly exposed images, so it took Canon's official LUT and made a pack of exposure adjustments that you can apply. And this more closely emulates nailing your exposure in camera by remapping the luminance values. To me, this looks way better than just applying the standard LUT and adjusting the colors afterwards. And if you like to expose to the right, you just apply the LUT that offsets that back to proper exposure for all your shots, and they look great. And I'll make a link below so that you can download these exposure adjustment LUTs if you like. And now let me tell you about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes. So when you're learning any new skill, it's important to start with the fundamentals and build from there. That's exactly what the Skillshare classes are designed to do. You can learn everything from cinematography to video editing. Right now I'm improving my sketching to help with storyboards. I've always been really embarrassed about my storyboarding skills, and I've always been a little scared to show off my boards to anyone. So this class from Siobhan Twomey is helping a lot. Skillshare is less than $10 a month with an annual subscription, and you can use the link in the description to get a free trial of the premium membership so you can go explore and start learning. And a little bonus tip, if you're shooting 4K, I suggest to be in 4K HQ mode as much as possible. This is an 8K oversampling of the sensor, and it's much sharper than standard 4K mode. All right, so that's the 6 key settings for shooting video with the R5. Hope that's helped you out a bit. I'll have a link to everything down below. And if you're subscribed, I'll see you next time.